we gonna say all praises be unto how about Shem, how
Shem,
shy about Shem
Shai, Shem
Kadash.
Kakadash,
And then we're gonna say double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom to the
honest.
sincere elect teaching this truth and faith and sincerity. As you can see with the topic, the scripture speaks about his servants shall eat, my servants shall eat in famine, and of course, as we see, there's it's something that our brothers were saying the other day. The seeds of famine have been planted already. You know, with this whole Israel Iran straight up hard moves and just the impact on the global food supply. The global food supply chain of things in general. We see over here in the UK, they're talking of famine shortages. They're obviously talking about how the window for fertilizer for a lot of things in planting season has had been missed, and how these impacts are going to be seen in the next 6 to 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know, you know. Remember when the scripture speaks about there shall be famines and pestilences and diverse places. Scoffers can say, "Oh well, there's always famines happening. Famines kind of always happen, and it's like when people think of a famine, they might think of some kids just in, Ethiopia,
Mm.
just dying and stuff. But these famines, as well, scripture's really talking about is going to be majorly impacting these major cities, man. You know,
Yep. Yeah, yeah, totally. It reminds me of a scene from when you were speaking. Reminds me of a scene from the film London Has Fallen, right?
mm.
Which basically was like Slack, 1 second.
What the hell?
Yeah.
You just got the comment, bro.
Um yeah, bro. This
Yeah,
is but this is it, because it's like here it is, we're talking about the coming famine. Man's wanna make jokes. You know what
yeah,
I'm
man.
saying?
Them damn agents.
That's it. That's it. But what was I saying? Yeah, but in the film London Has Fallen. The antagonist, if that's the word, was like for far too long. These
Mm,
issues have been over there. Now these issues are
mm,
coming to you. And
mm,
that's it. When people think about famine, people think about war, right? They're thinking about things that happen over there in a dusty third world country somewhere, right? And
mm,
that's what's going to take people um in the way that it's going to take people, right?
mm,
Because once again, they're not used to difficulty. And if I can say this last one thing, the proof of that was, if you saw how, especially if you worked around Esau or whatever, how
mm,
broken they became over COVID, right?
mm.
And like you get people that they were the ones talking about the long vid and this, that, and the other because they actually haven't gone through anything. Like, if you think that's
Yeah,
something
yeah.
bad,
Hmm.
imagine, when there actually is no food on the streets.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And you saw how quickly the shelves got emptied. Now imagine
yeah,
the shelves getting empty, but there ain't no trucks to bring in new
yeah,
food.
yeah. And what's interesting when we talk about the shelves being emptied is that um like the shelves being emptied primarily during a lockdown. People's main focus wasn't just on food in lockdown. Remember, like people was fighting over tissue paper and shit.
Mm,
But now, when you're actually coming out saying in the news that food shortages are coming in the UK and are impacting shelves directly, people are now going to go into shops with the mind of, yo, the food shortages are about to happen. So it's like people are going to target food more so than ever,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because remember, in a lockdown, even back then, like in the news in the UK, they were saying that certain factories, that like toilet paper factories and stuff, will be impacted, and then people went on a sudden craze on hunting down toilet paper.
That's it.
You know what I'm
Can I
saying?
can I grab this information for you real quick? Because I think it
Yep.
kind of ties in.
Yeah.
shows that these elites are always in preparation. Now, I don't know what it's like in the States, but in London, in the UK, in London, is where I've seen it. Is you have a lot of in our supermarkets, you have basically a little mini prison system, right? Where it's like you've got a hell of a lot of security that is added
Mm.
in the supermarkets, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
say it's because of a shoplifting epidemic driven by the cost of living crisis and the surge in organized retail crime. Okay,
Mm.
sure, shoplifting offenses hitting a 20-year high. Okay, so you're basically seeing exit barriers, right? Some stores now require you to scan your receipt to open a gate to leave the self checkout area. Locked cabinets, items like spirits and champagnes are being placed in AI powered cabinets. Shit, I didn't even know
Mm.
they were AI powered.
Shit, shit, man.
Um,
I didn't know there was AI powered.
yeah,
Yeah, isn't it? What type of AI? So as soon as he sees a Jake, it's like, yo, I'm unlocking this until someone else comes. Bro,
that's
it's
it.
like
That's
even, do
it.
you remember the other day, bro, when we tried to buy that bottle and the
Mm.
bottle had an alarm, and then remember
Yeah,
we had to
boss
wait.
man was yeah. Boss man didn't even want to take the to take to you saw we were gonna pay for it. He was just letting the alarm go off. It was like, bro, take
What's
the
it?
alarm. What are you
Uh,
doing?
yeah, like it's like, bro, I'm in front of you about to pay. Do you think I'm gonna steal? Like, you
Yeah.
know? But you know what? I have a quick scripture. This is Ezekiel. Um um. You know what, bro? Can you read it? Can you read Ezekiel's seventh chapter on down? Because there's a lot on there actually.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll do that for you. Um, so I was trying to get a picture real quick for the
Yeah, go on.
Akim. But you can't really because these ones are pretty mild. But it's like you go into these stores, you're seeing more of this stuff, but they all they need to do is just put something a little bit. They've already got the mechanism, just put a bigger glass, right?
Yeah.
You be going into some of these supermarkets and they be looking like prisons,
Bro,
you know?
basically some of these supermarkets, bro, you actually cannot leave unless you scan out.
Yeah,
Like you actually can't leave.
that's it.
You know?
But let me get that for you, right? Ezekiel 7 from the top. It says,
Hmm.
moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, also, thou son of man, say, thus saith the Lord power unto the land of Israel, the end is come upon the four corners of the land.
Yeah. Now of course we know Jerusalem is a people before as a place. We know that, and it's like, do you know what I mean? A lot of our people are about to catch hell.
Mhm.
You know, we would definitely do know that, man. Especially in Babylon, especially in these major cities. Remember, the scripture says, because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled, man. And really, when we teach this truth when we prophesy, our main focus is to the Israelites, man.
Mhm.
Because all you other heathen, you're gonna get caught up like within the judgment. It don't matter where you are. But those that can get mercy in regards to salvation are the Israelites, man. You know, so like our focus is our people, man. Especially those of them that know the truth first and foremost. Go ahead.
That's it. It says, now is the end come upon thee, and I'll send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee upon thee all thine abominations.
Yeah,
Um,
and we're in that last time, that last kingdom that's just going to be in power before the Lord comes. So there's going to be a lot of judgment now, upon
mhm.
our people. The time of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, you know, and all of the plagues and pestilences that the Lord's going to be sending on earth. Now, the scripture says all these are the beginning of sorrows, man. Go ahead.
That's it. It says, And mine eye shall not spare thee, neither will I have pity, but recompense thy ways upon thee, and thine abominations shall be in the midst of thee, and he shall know that I am Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. An end is come, the end is come. It watcheth thee, it watcheth for thee, behold, it is come.
Yeah, man. And evil, only an evil has come. The end has come. And it's like, to everything, there's a time in the season. And we're in the time in the season of much evil coming, man.
Mhm.
And much evil happening. And because when we look at famine, like it doesn't have to just do with the crops not being made or planted or whatever. It can also do with having the capability of even accessing these things. I mean, like if you can't access something, then you're basically in famine. You know what I'm saying? Like if you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if someone puts a blockade, that's kind of what happened in 70 AD when you have
Mhm.
a what's it a siege. When you have a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
siege around a city, you stop things coming in, you stop things going out. That's famine. You know what I mean? That's famine because you are in a famished state. In fact, when we go to the etymology of famine, you know,
Yeah.
let's see what it says on the etymology of famine.
All right. So, famine noun. So it says from Old French famine, famine, starvation, for vulgar Latin famina, Latin fames, hunger, starvation, famine. This is the verb, cause to hunger, alteration famine, a shortening of Old French affameur, to bring to hunger. Yeah, just hunger.
Yeah. So like, if you are locked in a house and you have no food in the house, you're basically in famine, bro. You're basically starvation. So how much more a city? And like we've seen, you know, even if you want to get you know how we got this video out, the other one the other day was going into, you know what I'm talking about. The other one
Yeah.
that was going into the supply chain. The other day I sent it to you.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
even
yeah,
if you wanted to get into that, we can get into that as well. But yeah, carrying up if you have time,
yeah.
we can
I
go
think
back
this
to
is
the verse.
this makes a lot more it's a lot better. It says famine. It says a situation in which there is not enough food for a great number of people, causing illness and death, or a particular period when this happens.
Mm,
Right, and this is the thing because something like famine, it kind of it what's the word I'm looking for? Rather, the causes of famine, depending on how it is. Because if it's like a weather related one, drought or whatever, right? Scarcity, which is basically what we're about to see, and maybe not drought, but the fact that they've was as we're going to go into in the video, missed the planting season, right? Basically, what you're going to end up in a situation is there's not going to be enough crops for consumption. Then also there isn't going to be enough crops to feed the animals that are
mm,
used in consumption. So there's going to be a lot less meat. And once again, it's funny how all of these issues from this war are all linking up with the gender 2030, right? The things that they had planned for people, which is less meat, less
mhm,
travel. You can't go here, you can't go there, you know.
mhm, mhm. And remember, that's not even to forget. There's changes that's happened that people don't even like. The changes have happened for so long that you don't even realize it's happened. And what I mean by that is, remember, in lockdown, there were a lot of factories, a lot of farmers sold up, a lot of important kind of industries got burnt down or shut down or whatever it is.
Hmm.
Like a lot of shops and stuff closed down during lockdown. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that's happened that people don't even think about. Even a prime example, like I always like to speak about, is the petrol. Now over here in the UK, we have like two different grades of petrol in it. You got your E5 petrol, which is the premium grade, right? And then you got your E10 petrol. Now the E5 petrol was actually the normal shit, the normal grade petrol that we had. And after lockdown, with the impact on the supply chain at the time, they came up with the E10, which is more watered down. So
Hmm.
now we're paying top dollar for our old shit that was normal, which is premium. You know what I mean? It's like there's changes that happens all the time in supply chain of food that you come just normal to. It's sort of like, you know what I mean, the prices of gas prices and petrol prices. In fact, bro, can you actually type that in? Um, E5 petrol was normal petrol in before 2021 or whatever in chat. It'll actually tell you it. It's like we've actually become accustomed to paying more for our standard shit. You know?
Before September 1st, 2021, E5 petrol containing up to 5% ethanol was the standard default unleaded petrol across the UK. It was commonly sold as premium unleaded and was used for most petrol powered vehicles. Um, we've got post 2021. Since the shift to E10 in September 21, E5 is still available, but is now typically sold as super unleaded at most filling station. It is more expensive than the new standard E10, but is necessary for vehicles manufactured before 2011 that are not compatible with higher ethanol content, as well as for some high performance engines.
Yeah. So now the question is, what the hell what was the super before? You know, it's saying it was premium. So what was the super before, man?
Mm,
You know, because now this petrol, man, you damn put it in your tank, bro, and it just finishes. You know.
mm, can.
See, look, before 20, it says there was a standard grade, and now it's the super shit. You know.
That's it. Yeah, so basically they're quite literally watering it down.
I'm saying we're paying more for the. It's, you know what I mean? So that's like a variation of shrinkflation.
Shrinkflation. Yeah, I was literally about to look that up. Which the definition of that is shrinkflation is a deceptive tactic where companies reduce a product size, weight, or quantity while keeping its price the same, effectively inflating the unit price. One of
Mm,
the things that I remember being told, so you know, when I don't know how it is in the States, but when you go to a shop, let's say you're buying something, it will basically give you the full price of the item. Let's say the item is 3 kilograms or whatever, and then what you can do to compare for yourself is to look for the per 100 gram price or per
mm,
100 milliliter price, and that basically allows you to determine whether you are actually getting a good deal or not. Like, for instance, you'll go on some sites and they're making it seem like you're getting a good deal, but actually you're not actually getting a good deal. And
mm,
that's, just some trick knowledge, sort of, just, for brothers. I don't know what the rules are like in the States, but just as an example, I just clicked, I don't, brothers, don't curse me out. It's the first thing I clicked in on Tesco. It was just whatever. But you see, yeah,
mm,
you got that price, and you got the price underneath, which is the per kilogram or per liter or per 100 ml price, which just allows you to know whether you are actually saving money or not. Because
mm,
this is basically the times we're coming into. What we're going into is the fact that everything is about to get even more expensive. Which, if I can get that in would you call it Revelation
mm.
7,
Revelation 6.
6,
6.
sorry, got it, yeah, right. It says, Revelation 6 and 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Right. And when you look
Mm,
into that word penny, right, it's basically going into, it gives this example, right, at the end here. So it says, from the parable of the laborers in the vineyard, it would seem that a denarius was the ordinary pay for a day's wage. Okay.
mm,
So basically, imagine having to, to think about your daily wage and then think that's all going to a small bit of food, right? And
Mm,
these are the times that we're coming into. But once again, for
yeah,
so long, these problems have been over there. Because let's be real, bro, there's certain parts of the world where this is how they live. What's that?
yeah,
Was it Pak in Thailand or something like
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Pack, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You
Which
know,
really,
but
Salakia,
you got it.
no, that example, that scripture, also speaks to depending on how you look at it, kind of hyperinflation. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
days wages
definitely.
to buy a day's wages to buy bread.
Mm-hmm.
So how much a whole meal? It makes you think
Yeah,
of Nazi Germany, where the inflation got so out of control that they would have to shake hands on how much you'd pay for a meal, because in the midst of eating that meal, the price of it will go up, aka the value of the money going down. You know what I
that's
mean?
it.
So it needs more paper cash. Like it even got so bad that it became more beneficial for the kids in the streets to burn the cash as you know what I mean? It actually got more valuable to burn the cash for fuel to heat yourself than it did to spend it. Well, over here in the
Mhm.
UK, man, you can't even burn the cash no more. It's plastic. It'll melt.
That's it.
You know?
That's it. I know, which is cool because this is it's saying like old as the receipt from 2001 comfort, right? 79p comfort being fabric freshener,
Condition.
right?
Yeah.
Flash. Yeah, you see that 79p, right? I think it's a utterly butterly 153. Nowadays people are having to
Yeah.
go halves on butter. You
Yep.
know, it's
Yep.
crazy. You
Hurt.
know, hurt. 17p for vinegar. So point being, bro, it's cooked.
It's
Right? The
cooked.
inflation is happening, right? And it's gonna get. If people think that's bad, it's only gonna get worse.
Yep. So you know what? Let's read a couple more verses and then come back to that scripture, and then we'll play the video, and then we'll play the other video as well. We'll skip the other, get through the other video.
Cool.
So let's read a couple more verses in Ezekiel.
This is Ezekiel 7:7 now. It says, the morning is come unto thee, O that thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near, and not the sounding again of the mountains.
Mm,
Now I will shortly pour out my fury upon thee, and accomplish mine anger upon thee. And I will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense thee for all thine abominations. And my
yeah,
eye,
man. And of course, there's gonna be a lot of judgment on Jake, but as well, obviously on Babylon, right? Babylon, Esau, these, this world, this kingdom, man. The scripture says, I'll bring woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Obviously, back then, this is the main application is that Jake and our people, but in this time, is this is going to be a time of trouble. This is going to be a time of judgment, and as well as Jake being judged, Esau and these other nations are going to be judged too. The world's going
Mhm.
to be judged, you know, and we as the hopeful elect hope and pray to get mercy. Go ahead.
Yep. So it says, and mine eye shall not spare, neither will I have pity, and I will recompense thee according to thy ways and thine abominations that are in the midst of thee. And ye shall know that I am Yahweh that smiteth. Behold the day, behold, it is come. The morning is gone forth, the rod hath blossomed, pride hath budded.
Mm,
Violence is risen up into a rod of wickedness. None of them shall remain, nor of their multitude, nor of any of their fathers, nor of any of their father of theirs. Slakia. Damn, damn. Where did I see fathers from? So damn. It says neither
mm.
shall there be wailing for them. It says the
Yeah,
time is.
it just kind of makes you think of like in Esdras when it speaks about the dead shall be cast out as dung, and no one's going to be left to comfort them. 'Cause these major. Remember, there's a reason. Why is it that whenever you see these films, the so-called post-apocalyptic, which really is going to be is before you know the Lord comes, but it's always these major cities. It shows you that leave the world behind, and all these films, man, where it shows you hell in the cities, basically.
Hmm,
You know, right?
yep. So it says, the time has come, the day draweth near. Let not the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. It
Mm,
says, for the seller shall not return to that which is sold, although they were yet alive. For the vision
mm.
is touching the whole multitude thereof, which shall not return, neither shall any strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life.
Yeah, the end of the day, though, the world, basically, the world as you know it, the comforts you're used to, the daily routines you're used to, is gonna come to an absolute end, bro. So, because you know what I mean? Like, you think when shit is the fan, like when there's cannibalism and starvation and all of that going on, you think people gonna be all worried about going to work Monday? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or doing it overtime, you know, or where the team they like or their favorite boxers fighting that week. Everything as you know is about to change, man. And this is what the prophets have been saying. The scripture says the prophets that have been before me and before the of old prophesied both against many countries and the great kingdoms of war, evil and of pestilence, man. And that's
Mm,
what's exactly what's about to come. You know, you know what I'm saying? Glad up.
that's it. So it
And
says, verse 14 says, they have blown the trumpet even to make already, but
you know
none
what?
goeth
Yeah,
to.
read the same from the verse you're at before. Read that, but read it from the NLT, and let's read into it. It's really good as well. Let's read into it.
So even Ezekiel 7 from 13 in the NLT, it says, even if the merchants survive, they will never return to their business. For
Mhm.
what the Most High has
Yeah,
said.
so that's a change of like you're not no longer you're not returning to your daily routines, bro.
Mm,
I'm saying that's it. You know, it's just it's sort of like a lockdown. Yeah, you know, if we try and flatten the curve, you
too
know.
late.
Remember, people said that if we all just wear a mask, it's all going to be
Yeah,
over.
if we just,
Yeah,
it's because
but
of people like you.
bro, I won't forget. I won't forget, man. I was going to this. I was going to a store to buy the new FIFA back then when it came out, and this old Edomite lady saw me like in the lift, and she's like, "Oh my God, what are you doing? You're so young. You're vulnerable. You need to wear your mask." Like she cursing me out. Like she was basically cursing me out. Like, you know what I mean? As a mother, and that motherly spirit. She's like, you have to understand. You're young. You're vulnerable. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, bitch, you in your 60s with
Yeah,
like
for real.
lung cancer already. You've been smoking for 30 years. You're talking about me being vulnerable. But first of all, if
Oh,
the mask is gonna stop it, it should have stopped you from getting it from me. Yeah.
bro, I remember there was one where I used to where I lived, there was this one old Edomite man. What do you call it? She'd be doing her little walk, grandma in it,
Mm.
and she'd wear the mask, and then she'd lift up the mask to smoke a cigarette, bro. So it was like this, and she gonna put it back down. I was
It's
like, bro,
stupid,
these
bro.
people are too funny, bro.
It's sort of like when people thought they was being deep by wearing a visor. Like, bro, nigga,
Yeah,
there's open air around
yeah,
the visor, bro. It's
yeah,
like if someone sprays perfume in front of a visor, you're still gonna smell it because it's gonna come round, is it not? It's how much more if a person sneezes. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, going up, people are
yeah.
dumb, innit?
That's it. That's it. Carrying on, right? So it's verse 14, right? No, I didn't finish 13, did I? It says, even if the merchants survive, they will never return to their business. For what the
Mhm.
Most High has said applies to everyone. It will not be changed. Not one person whose life is twisted by sin will recover.
Ooh. So yeah, man.
You know?
Like people, really, because that time, the only time you're gonna be able to survive is if the Lord is with you. If He ain't with you,
That's it.
then you're cooked.
That's it. It
You
makes
know.
me what do you call it? It makes me think of yeah, the precept in Second Ezra's that says for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. There's, it says not one person whose life is twisted by sin, and it's just that's basically everyone, right? Everyone lives in sin; they bathe in it. You know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it
Facts.
says goes on. Hey, what was it? How's it phrased? Let me look for it real quick. If this is the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah, because it's like this for us, man. It says Isaiah 59:15, yea, truth faileth, and he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. And the Lord Jehovah
Mm-hmm.
saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. And the reason once
Mm-hmm.
again it's coming up, it's like because this world is so wicked, when you say stuff that's righteous, people look at you like you've got 10 heads, like they want to do harm to you, man.
Mm-hmm.
You
It's
know,
true.
you say something like, hey, oh, like for instance, there was an article that, would you call it? Just this, I won't even put it on screen. It's on the BBC News, right? But basically, it was the usual suspects, right? Basically, that did a vile act to and
Oh
ended up
God.
killing
Yeah.
a young child, right? But the thing is, before that, it was like they were alphabet people. No, they were alphabet people that did it, right? Now we
Mm-hmm.
go out there and say that they shouldn't be around, and that even more so, they shouldn't be adopting children. We're the bad guys. But this
Mm-hmm.
is what these men are on, you know. But let me finish this for you, bro. So it
Yeah.
says, verse 14, right? Ezekiel 7:14 in the NLT. It says, the trumpet calls Israel's army to mobilize, but no one listens, for my fury is against them all. There is war outside the city and disease and famine within. Those outside the city walls will be killed by the enemy swords. Those inside the
Mm-hmm.
city will die of famine and disease.
Mm-hmm.
I must be allowed to read.
Yeah.
Um, uh, this is um, s- where is it?
Which one?
Uh, is that right?
Which one are you looking for?
Oh yeah. It's the second Ezra 16 and 22. For many of
Mm-hmm.
them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy.
Yeah, because brother, in the midst of the famine, you think people going to just be at home? You're gonna be waiting at home, being good citizens. Big people gonna be shooting shit. You
Mm-mm.
know, people gonna be raiding each other. Like survival of the fittest. Hey, survival of the fittest. Only the strong survive. We live it
Mm-mm.
up to the day that we die. Yeah, only the strong survive. You know, and that's how it gonna be, bro. Like there's a war going outside. No man is safe from. You know, what I mean, you get around the hammer. Indeed, you know, took. You know what I mean? Like, it's real like that. You know, it's real. Like when it's real, when it gets real, people gonna get real. And I say that
Mm.
because we live in such a fake world where people try and pretend to be cool and pretend to be this. I'm a good, upstanding citizen. Yeah, right. When your food supply is shorting, everyone's gonna it's gonna be the dog world, man.
Yeah, hey, the
You know what I
Joker
mean?
said it best.
Yeah, yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Hey, when the
Say
chips
the
are
quote.
down, these civilized people, they'll eat each other.
Yeah, it's real. Shit, man. Like, I mean, these are especially when they say it's protein. It seems like the
Uh-huh.
buzzword is protein. When you say protein, it suddenly becomes cool to eat. It's sort of like how there's scientists that have actually learned how to reverse engineer feces and turn it into steak, and they say, yeah, it's protein. It's the same thing with
Bro.
the bugs. You know, Z Z will eat Z bugs and be happy, bro.
Bro,
That's how
look,
it's gonna
what
get.
let's look here, bro. Sorry, bro. Sorry, bro.
Mhm.
What makes a man sit there and think, I wonder if that I can make that dump into a steak? Who does
Well,
that?
yeah, yeah.
as the scripture says in Habakkuk, the second chapter, his spirit is not upright in him.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, and you also look at Genesis at 25. It's two manner of people in thy womb, man. You know, because it's like,
Yeah.
bro, like you want to make steak, bro. It's called a cow.
Yeah.
Just have cows breed. Like, what we doing here?
Yeah.
He's making artificial wounds, bro. They're called women,
Like, there's pretty sure there's a lot of other things you can make steak for.
bro.
You know?
Yo, Esau's the devil, man. Because we speak about it when we go into some of the artificial foods that he made, right? Aspartame, the artificial sweetener, is basically like the feces of E. coli, and it's like, how did you get that?
Yep. Yeah. You know, if you type it, it says could eating poo burgers save the earth? You know,
Wow.
2011, and then
Oh,
Japanese.
that was, oh, of course.
It's a bit close to certain areas. You know what I'm saying? Like Japanese.
Yeah, no
You know.
wonder they just had an earthquake today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, but
No
there's
wonder this
actually,
bloody earthquake, bro.
yeah, man. You know,
Seven, what was it 7.4?
yep. You know, I mean, I'm not saying read the whole thing, but
Oh, it was just tough. Wasn't it? It was meat
yeah,
made from
it was
human feces.
basically, yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Meat made from human feces, hoax, or Japan's best new invention. That got your attention, half. Fortuitously, it's unlikely these appealing options will end up on your menus anytime soon. Unlikely, but not entirely out of the question.
Mm.
Recently, a stomach churning story about meat synthesized from sewage was picked up by several major news sites and admittedly some less credible ones. In its bona fide science section, Fox News posted a piece that led with the astonishing headline Japanese scientists create meat from poop. I did double take, rub my eyes to make sure my contact lens, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to the point, man.
Yeah, you know these
That's the
articles they tell
point.
you about the dates. Get to the point.
That's
Right.
the point.
But
Oh, we saw it, bro.
if you just type in Japanese scientists feces from whatever burger from feces, it just gets to the point. All these other ones, I mean, but there's actual
Right, right. This is
credible
this is why
articles.
this is why you know they ain't getting any bloody traction anymore, man. These
Yeah.
these these articles all A, which you call AI overview. Japanese researcher Mitsuyuki Ikeda developed an artificial burger patty made from proteins extracted from human sewage, designed to create a sustainable food source from waste.
Like,
Ugh.
bro, the Lord created a sustainable food source. It's called a cow. You know what I'm saying? They eat grass and they're wedge. You know what I mean? There's a lot. That's a lot. You know what I mean? Have you never thought about that? A
Hmm,
cow is just hench from grass.
for real.
But anyway, yeah. Let's move on for that.
Yeah, bro, for
Well,
real.
yeah. You know what,
It's
bro?
pull up Dr.
Let's
Zhang.
yeah, pull up Doctor Zhang, and then we finish Ezekiel, and then we'll go into some more precepts pertaining to the salvation and the miracles for us that's coming in these famines. You know, these
That's it.
these famines.
That's it. Um, so let's play her.
Too much, giving too much power to the military, okay? But if Donald Trump goes and attacks these power plants, then the Iranians will be going to total war. They will be totally committed to destroying the American military presence in the Middle East, as well as the global economy, okay? And unfortunately, the Americans and the Israelis don't really care because they're committed to destroying Iran as a viable nation state. Already we're seeing increases in fuel prices, okay? So if you are in the red, it means that you've seen prices go up a lot, okay? If you're in the red. So America, Australia, they've seen prices skyrocket. China has also seen prices skyrocket as well as Europe. This is only just the beginning. We can expect gas prices to skyrocket so much that it essentially collapses the civilian aviation industry, meaning that in the future, if you want to fly, it might cost you 10 times as much as it does now. Okay? And this will happen very, very
Hey,
quickly.
hey,
But again, the main
and
issue.
you know what? Do you know what, man? That's a part of what the Murph season. The
Hmm.
Murph season, because like it's like Dubai. You know,
Oh,
that
Dubai's done. Yo, Dubai's
Dubai is
done.
cooked.
It's
Dubai is
done.
cooked, but it was temporarily like a nigger heaven for niggas.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like that season, and even totally unrelated, but there was a situation in London this weekend where like two fucking influencers were fighting and one run over the other with a car. I think the bitch is dead. It's like even that's
Oh
a
no, it's,
symbolism.
what would you call it? Critical condition.
But there was just literally recent breaking reports from one of her friends that she actually passed still.
Okay, okay.
But
Peace, yeah.
before, yeah, no, but before there was stuff saying no, she's not dead, whatever, and it's too early. It wasn't critical, but literally recent kind of couple of hours, it just said
Okay.
one of her friends came out in it. But whether she's critical or not, it was a symbolism for it's a symbolism because it was a BBL princess trampled over. You know, you know what I mean. The only thing she did good to the earth was bring was use old plastic, recycled plastic, and now that plastic in the ass can be recycled. Yeah, yeah. I mean, into microchips. You know, you know, it's funny, man. But hey, that's just a symbolism, man. Of
Mm,
just
mm,
it's like
mm.
people are losing their minds. But think about it. You got fucking IG baddies running up people over. How much more when the food shortages, man? People start losing their minds completely. You know?
Mm. Yeah, it's really weird because the Met Police link says woman charged over fatal Westminster collision, but when you read the
It
article, it
says,
says woman charged with attempted murder.
oh yeah, it's crazy. Well,
So
I'm sure
maybe, yeah.
maybe it'll get upgraded, but as well as that, remember, like a lot of these things, it's like someone close will just go on Snapchat and it'll be like a day before it breaks to the official. You know what I'm saying? But whether
Mm.
it's critical or not, she got judged, man. You know what I'm saying?
So,
It's the signs of the times. It just shows you how that mirth, the scripture speaks about how men are snared in the evil time. When it falleth suddenly upon them. I bet you
mm,
that bitch didn't think that day that evening she probably thinking about the dudes that's gonna buy her drinks and shit.
yeah.
Instead, she became a cartoon. Have you seen them cartoons when a person gets run over by a car and all twisted? That's how she came.
Damn.
The moment when you see the video, man, you can see that she's gone or she's going somewhere.
Damn.
Well, actually, her the plastic in her ass might have saved her. You know what I mean? It's like anyway,
No, it's mad. So I just realized that this is she this the defendant is a former X Factor contestant.
yeah, yeah. She
But
she
the
used to be
thing
on X
is,
Factor.
yeah, the thing is as well, it's like this just looks nasty, man.
Yeah, just a
Um,
bunch of plastic everywhere, man.
yeah, but the thing is, it's right now in the States, you've got what is it, the artist DAVD or something like David, and he's just been arrested on murder as well.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Mhm.
Him. I think that's the dude that had a girl in his boot.
Yeah, 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 exactly.
He's that dude that made one of them TikTok viral songs. I don't care. I don't know the lyrics, but it's on every fucking reel. You know.
Mhm.
But anyway, yeah. But like you said, these civilized people, when the chips are done, they're gonna lose it. And if
It's
this is what they're doing
like a
already,
precept.
yeah.
It says Matthew 24 and 12, it says, and
Mhm.
because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Yeah. Oh, you even had that Jake, whoever he is. Obviously there's more information yet to be released, but that Jake that killed all his children.
Yeah,
Had
yeah, yeah, yeah,
had
yeah,
like
yeah.
8 children. He killed 8 children, man.
Yep. That's it. Which I
It's
can't. I
it's
can't.
yep.
So I was to say, from the pics, you can't. She the person that did the crime that we're talking about in London. I think
Mm.
she's the last name is Polish, but she looks like a Eve or whatever. Or comes across like a Eve, and it's like
Oh,
the imagery
yep.
that is being pushed out of Jake at the moment. Right, you got it. I said the Jake that killed his parents, the one with's got a woman in his boot. This one here, because Argyle Street. That's if you think about, that's basically where we used to hold camp in central London, just round the corner from that. You know,
Mm.
so these are high profile kind of events that are happening, and who's the face of it, Jake. Right, so you never know. These could all be subs, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it's happened, but like you know what I'm saying.
yeah the, the one with the Polish name is the one that got trampled, but the other
Oh,
one,
is okay, yeah.
the Carrington, is the light skinned Eve from Manchester, and on
Okay.
social media, she had posted before people start need to stop playing playing with me before you know what I mean I end up in jail, and then again she basically incriminated herself anyway before it.
That's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean. But anyway, yeah, come on, let's go back to that video that we saw. Yep, you still there, bro?
You said? Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
so.
No, I'm saying let's go back to the video.
You could. Oh, sorry. I was playing on. Sorry, I was playing on my headphones. My apologies.
Oh, okay, fine.
Times as much as it does now. Okay? And this will happen very, very quickly. But again, the main issue, and I need to emphasize this, the main issue is not the fuel. The main issue is the fertilizer.
Yep.
And the fertilizer is important because you need fertilizer to grow food. And we are in the planting season. You guys don't know this, but it is because fertilizer.
So if I can say, so what are the chances that they decided to do this war now when they knew that they knew what Iran was going to do? They all like
Mm,
they said it before. Yo, you cross the line, we're closing the Strait of Hormuz. So they decided to do it at a time when farmers needed their fertilizer, right?
mm,
Because it's sort of like they needed to plant. So okay, cool. Prudent man, they'll be like, all right, cool. We're about to commit, crimes against humanity. All right, let's at least wait until after the planting season so that the farmers can still plant. But no, which makes you
mm,
realize what that this was always a plan. Everything that they're doing right now is pointing to the same result, which is the end of this man's system, right? But he thinks
mm,
it's going to be a controlled demolition, right?
mm,
That we are allowed to support 8 billion people. If we didn't have access to fertilizer, we can only grow enough food to support 1 to 2 billion people.
Do you know how crazy that
And
is?
unfortunately,
Do you know how crazy that is? So if fertilizer isn't going around, if this artificial fertilizer industry didn't exist, your food supply could only sustain 1 to 2 billion people. That's crazy. And that's because of the system that Esau was built. Because if everyone was just in their own lands and everything was localized, then when one area is affected, it doesn't affect the whole world. You know what I'm saying? You know,
Mhm.
if everyone had their own farm and family businesses and did local trade and local bartering, your food is according to your region. You know, if one region has a problem, you might go to another region to help. You know, with the burden. But again, when you have the introduction of these food deserts in these major cities, it's unsustainable. Like,
Mhm.
look at Dubai. The lifestyle they
Yeah,
built in
yeah,
for
yeah, yeah,
Dubai,
yeah.
the lifestyle they built for Dubai doesn't even match the actual the climate and the country, the landmass. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it doesn't even match.
yeah, they importing hella food.
Yep.
right?
Water.
Don't even have clean water,
Yep.
you know. And the thing is, it's like they have to maintain. They have to do a lot to maintain that sheen. Because at the end of the day, it's a desert.
Mm,
You know, you get sandstorms everywhere. It gets too hot,
mm,
and that's one of the things that you know. But it goes into another topic about this if they do try to do a ground invasion because it's getting
mm,
into summer now, and the heat out there is crazy. So phew, they do a ground
mm,
invasion, you just expect your mans to be cooked literally.
mm. Go ahead, bro.
Fortunately, this means that Africa and parts of South Asia, a lot of people there will starve to death. So the main concern is famine, okay? Not airline tickets. All right, let's
Do
continue.
you know what I love? Because he kind of says that like a dig, right?
Mm,
It's
mm.
look, playing that's
It's,
the least of my worries.
well, it's sort it's sort of like at lockdown. A
Mm,
lot of people's main concern was flights,
mm,
you know, and people remember people was their main thing was going on holiday.
mm-hmm.
You know, good.
Yep.
Continue. All right. So as this war is progressing, we need to step back and recognize that this is a global war. So the Ukrainians use drones to attack and
Yeah,
destroy
I
an
think he
oil
switched the
depot,
point.
an oil terminal.
Yeah.
But
Oh no,
there's
actually, there is. I think he's about to say something. Is it?
more. I think actually keep playing it because I know it's up to 15 minutes. I think there's something about before 15 minutes where it kind of
Yeah.
goes into. I think there's more on famine actually.
Yeah, because the thing is, it's whether he says it in this.
In Russia. And this means now that 40%, guys, of Russia's oil exports have gone offline. Right? So what's happening is that not only is the Strait of Hormuz closed, but the Americans are also attacking Russia's oil. Okay, so you have drone strikes in terminals, but also you don't see this in the news. But also there's basically a naval blockade. So if you are a Russian oil tanker, if the Americans come and catch you, they'll take your oil. Okay, so this is basically piracy. So in other words, the American strategy before was, okay, before we were the world's global reserve currency. And as a result, we encouraged global trade. But now that our economy is suffering, well, let's just control the sea lanes, okay? So that's the American strategy moving forward. All right. Some major news from Germany is that if you are a German
You know what? The point that I was thinking of was actually in the other video.
Oh, okay, so gonna go to the other video.
Yeah, we can play some of that. Do you remember? Because
Yeah,
do you remember whether? In fact, it's from the pretty much the beginning, isn't it?
more
Supposed
or
to blow
less.
up the world economy.
The
But
war in Iran has sent the price of oil and
before that, I want to read a quick scripture. This is Ecclesiastes 9 and 12. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fat fishes are taken in the evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare. So are the sons of men snared in the evil time when it falleth suddenly upon them. You know. So again, if you've had the pleasure of fishing before, you know, just that that whole period before the fish gets caught, he's just doing his thing, and then it gets suddenly caught. There's nothing he can do about it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like this. People now they're all worried about the next the concert they can go to. Kanye West just got cancelled. Oh my gosh, blah blah blah. It's like, hold on, you're worried about the wrong things, mate. You're worried about the wrong things, you know, completely, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like here it is. You're focusing on your next concert being cancelled, whereas you're staring down the barrel of famine
That's it.
and death. Because even in lockdown, brothers bought certain foods and stuff, but like it wasn't like we was putting out our trust in it. But even when the rush to the store started, my brothers didn't even have to go because we had
Mhm.
already sorted out what we needed to.
That's it.
You know? Yeah. Sorry, bro. We can go to the clip.
Yes.
This is an oil tanker, and the thing to know about an oil tanker is that it's really, really big. 4 soccer fields long, carries 2 or 3 million barrels of oil, and it weighs more than a skyscraper, all of which makes it slow, 10 or 15 knots. That is, no joke, the speed of a bicycle. Our global energy supply lines move at the speed of a Schwinn, and let me show you on this globe why that's important. If you biked all day, how much of this globe do you think you could cross? Like, maybe the width of the point of this pen, right? Maybe. You worked really hard. Okay, now imagine hopping on your 12 speed starting in Dubai. Where's Dubai? Here we go. Starting in Dubai, and now imagine that you have to bike out of Dubai all the way down here, down the coast of Africa, down, across the Cape of Good Hope, back up the other coast of Africa, all the way across the Atlantic, through the Caribbean, before finally arriving at the deepwater oil port in Louisiana. That would take forever on a bike, right? Which, remember, is the speed that these oil tankers go. Like, that is how our oil travels, as if it were on a bike. And maybe you see where I'm going with this. This is a map of global oil flows put together by JP Morgan. Don't worry about all this text, we'll explain it in a minute. These red lines show the oil coming out of the Middle East, going out to the rest of the world. This is the stuff that's been cut off. Here it is back in December before the war. There it goes, the oil is flowing. But remember, it moves at the speed of a bunch of bicycles. So now it's January, and the oil is just finally reaching parts of Asia and Europe. And we're into February before it hits the US, and then it hits refineries in South Korea that then sends it on down these pink lines to Australia and New Zealand. So when the war starts and the oil stops flowing, there's actually still a ton out there, taking its long, lazy little bike ride around the globe. That's a big part of why things seem weirdly normal.
And for those who ain't watching and those who are scoffing, we're doing videos and these stuff. So like, yeah. Oh, you just jumping the gun. You're just exaggerating. Blah blah blah. It's like no, we're just telling you what is coming because it's gonna hit later.
That's
You
right.
know, good.
Normal. For most countries, the oil shutdown has not reached us yet. We're still getting shipments that were sent out before the war started. So when do those shipments stop? If you look at that map again, it says most deliveries to the US will stop around April 15th. In Europe, they stop around April 10th. Asia, April 1st, so it's just getting started. But here in parts of Africa, it was March 20th. We're already well into it. And to be clear, these places aren't out of oil. Every country has emergency stockpiles. So let's see what that looks like. Gas lines are the first thing to show up. Not enough fuel at the pump. And these are already everywhere. South Africa, Pakistan, Vietnam, a bunch of places. In Laos, they ordered schools closed for 1 day a week so there'd be fewer people on the roads. The Philippines and Ethiopia did the same thing for government offices. And Sri Lanka is making everybody take every Wednesday off of work now. There are also restaurant curfews, mass flight cancellations, air conditioning shutoffs. It's not that these countries are running out of oil. I mean,
the air conditioning one is you go if you look at certain countries,
Can't live without.
you can't live without the air conditioning. Right now, one of the things that happens every time there's a heat wave in the UK, for instance, like it's because the way the UK houses are built, you end up getting heat stroke fatalities. Now, when you're
Yeah,
looking at somewhere like Dubai and basically the Arab world, the Gulf states, if
yeah,
they haven't got the means to air condition, mad people are dying. That's just
yep.
what it is. A lot of people are dying. And once again, you get to, Southeast Asia, where you've got a lot of heat and humidity, right? Because of the way they live and because of the modern world. Once again, you're going to have a lot of secondary deaths if you're saying, no, you can't actually put on your air conditioning,
Yep.
you know?
they are, but that's not the real issue exactly.
Right. And then it's going to go into oil supply and stuff like that. I don't know how much of that you wanted to play
I
exactly.
mean, if there's any more that you thought was in there, I
Yeah,
mean, there's a lot. I think there's a part that touches on the food as well. You know what I
okay, I'll
mean?
come up for that. But I just wanted to. In fact, I'll just read it real quick then.
The name for this is demand destruction. It's we, but you probably worry. You might expect to see food prices go up some hardships go up, something much larger and much more consequential that is already starting to happen. To understand what that is, imagine if
Oh yeah, no,
Vessel carrying jet fuel into the United Kingdom is going to get here in 48 hours, and there's no more after that.
So when that oil shock hits, it is going to hit us all at once. Okay, so now we understand what that oil shock is, how it's going to get here, how it's forming. What is it going to look like? And when people picture this, they tend to talk about it in terms of rising prices. $200 barrel oil, $8 a gallon at the pump, $1,000 domestic flights. But this misses something much larger and much more consequential that is already starting to happen. To understand what that is, imagine if instead of talking about energy supplies, we were talking about food. Now, if I told you that 1 or 2% of the world's food supply was going offline, you'd probably worry. You might expect to see food prices go up some hardships on the margin, but you would think it's basically survivable. But now, if I told you the world had already lost 20% of its food supply, you would think, well, we're about to have fewer people on Earth. The name for this is demand destruction. It's when the supply of something drops so severely that whoever or whatever relies on it, the demand, permanently withers away. And that is what is going to happen to any global economic activity that uses energy, which is like almost.
and can I say as well, there's the other side of that, which is supply destruction. Because what you've been seeing is a lot of the I don't know what you call them, plants, if you will, where this
Hmm.
oil is refined in the Gulf. You've had actually a lot of hits on some of these facilities right in the Gulf, where like some it's going to be a couple of months, some a couple of years, and some have just some things have been hit quite badly. And that's why I think it was Scott Ritter or one of them analysts was saying they've got to the point they got to the point when Trump said that they'd blow Iran back to the Stone Age or whatever. He was basically at that point so much destruction. Basically, the only thing left after that was there was no coming back from it. The Iranian retaliation would have just taken out a whole lot of Gulf infrastructure, and at that point, it's not a the what's this place called again, man? The the Strait of Hormuz is
DCC.
open.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not all the straight of it because at that point, basically they're at the escalation point where it wouldn't matter if it was open. That's what he was
Mm,
saying, and that's the
mm,
other side of what this guy's talking about, supply destruction. But what he's making is a good point as well, demand destruction.
mm.
Bring that back a bit.
It's when the supply of something drops so severely that whoever or whatever relies on it, the demand, permanently withers away. And that is what is going to happen to any global economic activity that uses energy, which is like almost all of it. Factories, technological development and production, car and airplane travel, air conditioning, building homes or cities. I'm not saying that those things are going to go away, but there is going to be a lot less of them. Like about 20% less once things really bottom out.
The economic shocks caused by this war will be with us for months.
How we emerge from this crisis
Yeah, and that's it.
No, go on.
Well,
Keep playing it.
will define us for a generation.
Let me give you a few specifics that are already starting to manifest. Airlines say they cannot afford to operate and are shutting down many of their flights, so it'll be harder to explore the world. European governments are telling their citizens not to travel for vacation this summer. There's just not enough fuel for it. A number of factories are already closing worldwide, especially in Asia. Semiconductor factories in particular are closing, both for lack of power and because semiconductors use helium, which is a byproduct of natural gas production, so is also going away. Importers expect it to become prohibitively expensive to ship some things abroad, so we'll have fewer foreign goods, less off-season produce.
What? You saw clothes, right? That's what I
Yeah.
think. They said, look, man, you're just gonna have, your 1, 2 clothes. What did Trump say, man? You're only gonna have one door.
Yep.
You know.
And we'll export less too, so fewer jobs. Construction supplies like lumber are getting too expensive to harvest or import, which means fewer homes getting built, which means existing homes getting more expensive and harder to afford. Many of the essential components to fertilizer also come through the Persian Gulf, things like phosphorus. There are already fertilizer shortages in Asia, so yeah, there will also be less food in the world. All of these things also contribute to inflation.
And I don't know if it's going to go into this. I don't remember if it's going to go into this, but it's like when
Mm.
you got certain countries that are major exporters of food, and when things go bad, guess what they do? They stop exporting
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
because because if you're a leader or ruler of a people, and you've gotten barely enough for your
yeah,
own people, why are you going to export? And when you
yeah,
look at the UK, for instance, I think it's something like it's only 60% self-sustainable in terms of food or
yeah,
something like that. I forget the exact
yeah.
numbers. Rather can fact check that themselves. But like we import a lot of food here,
Mm.
right? So when
Yeah.
when this story is told, hey, it's going to get dark in Britain.
I have a quick
Inflation
scripture
prices
before we carry on.
go up.
Yeah, this is Matthew 24:6, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See ye that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass by the end of the yeah, and that's what we obviously have here, wars and rumors, where we're seeing the rumors like in reports, but we know we have to follow the guideline of prophecy, which is obviously based around the mark of the beast, which is the RFID implantable chip. And really, when you look at this, if we look at the effect of the global supply chain and food shortages and stuff, why not have a system where you can ration food properly and make sure everyone gets what they need and not want,
That's it.
which is the mark of the beast system? Because think about it, it's like if you just leave things to be natural in nature, what happens is simply it gets sold to the highest bidder. And once that doesn't work, people start just taking what they need. And it's
Hmm.
like to make in the midst of rice and chaos, why not come with a system where it's fair because everyone gets what they need according to their chip, you know?
Yeah.
That no man might buy or sell, say he have the mark, man. You know? Yep, good.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. Actually, I got more. It says, For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes. Those are earthquakes this morning in diverse
Mhm.
places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. So this is only the beginning of the sorrows, but the sorrows ain't gonna be here for a long time. Like the apostles say, when the market of beast is established, it like people gonna be just chipped for like 5 years, and then the Lord's gonna come. Nah, man, that's when it's a matter of weeks
That's
and
it.
months and days
Yeah,
and years.
because you once again, if you was in a major city doing TV, right? Especially these a lot more authoritarian cities like your Londons or whatever, right?
Mm,
You saw just how kind of they made it a bit hard to navigate. Now, this time, what this mark will allow them to do is to make it impossible to navigate. Because let's not forget, outside of this as well, it's not just the fact that there's going to be less of everything. Remember, the economy is going to get cooked from the back of
mm,
this. And when the economy gets cooked, it's like, why are you going to bring, like in the digital age, why are you going to bring back an old way of doing things? Just
mm,
bring the new one, bring the bring the new world order.
mm, exactly. Yep.
Yep.
Harder to afford things, our standard of living goes down. And the thing is, even if the war ends today, this process, this demand destruction, is actually going to continue. That's because American, Israeli, and Iranian missiles have left much of the region's energy infrastructure in ruins. Things like refineries, gas terminals that will take years to rebuild, which means years before that oil and gas comes back online. This winter is probably going to bring the first big wave of hardship. Right now, spring and summer is a time of year when countries are usually stockpiling oil and gas so that they can get their people through the cold months. But instead, those countries are burning their stockpiles down to zero. That means December and January are likely to bring a whole new oil shock when 1 billion people across Europe, Asia, and North America go to turn on their winter stoves or heaters and find that there is not enough gas to go around. Now look, I'm not saying all this because I want to scare you, and we are not on the verge of some great collapse. I promise you that
You sure about that?
Mad Max is going to remain a thing that you watch just on your TV and not out your window. And I'm telling you all
I mean,
this.
if I could say this is it. It's like this is why ultimately you go to the prophets, right? All of these Professor Zhang and Max Fish, this was dope video. He's got that ability, like the thing with the bicycle. Great analogy, allows you to fully understand it, right? Makes you be like, yo, that is slow, right? But they ain't got the truth. Who's Mad Max is just gonna be something you see on TV? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. The
Coming to you.
prophecies say otherwise.
Exactly. Right. And
Yeah,
then
man.
that's when everything the prophets have said, you know, is gonna come to pass, man. So with that, let's get that Isaiah, you know, my servant shall eat.
Yep. This is Isaiah 65 and 13. It says,
Start from 11 on down.
Isaiah 65 and 11, but ye are they that forsake Yahweh, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for that troop, and that furnish the drink offering unto that number. Therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall
Yes,
bow down.
all these scoffers that scoffed, talk shit. Now they're gonna be numbered for judgment, man. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. It says, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye
Hmm.
did not hear, but did evil
Yeah,
before mine eye.
yeah, which is scoffing at the Lord's men, mocking. Here is we're talking about global food shortages and coming a famine, and then you have got dudes like Tazariak still talking about the people of Nigeria ain't Israelites. Like, come on, there's a lot of things going
Yeah,
on. We're talking about stuff like that,
that's it.
you know, scoffing videos, and you realize the scoffers are quieter nowadays, you know. Yeah,
Mm,
like instead of scoffing, they're stockpiling food now. You know what I mean? And do overtime.
mm,
Scoffing. Go ahead.
yeah. It says, when I spoke, ye did not hear, but did evil before mine eyes, and did choose that which I delighted not.
Hmm.
Therefore, thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry.
Shall eat for a certainty that is his servants are going to eat, and we've seen a lot of examples with Elijah.
Mm,
With us coming out of the wilderness. You know, and much more. You know, Daniel. Was fed in the lion's den. You know what I mean? When we read the story of Habakkuk's example, right? When we read about it in the Apocrypha, you find out that like an angel grabbed him by his hair to go and feed Daniel within the lion's den. You
mm,
know, you actually find that out. He was basically transported and teleported into the den to feed a brother food within the lion's den. So that's how you know the prophets shall eat because the Lord could make a way. You know,
mm,
I mean these so-called Christians sing that song, but it's a it's kind of uh, a true statement when it goes, God will make a way when there seems to be no way, because that's
mm,
how it's gonna be. Just that he's gonna make a way for us to escape those that are the elect, Lord willing, and our
that's
families.
right.
With Elijah's example, there are so many examples. Go ahead up.
It says, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed.
Yeah, that's it. So his
Yeah.
servants are going to be good. Well, you people ain't.
Mhm.
Okay.
Says, behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit.
Yeah, howl for vexation of spirit. You know,
Mhm.
hopelessness, wailing.
That's it.
You know, there shall be, weeping and gnashing of teeth, man.
That's right.
That's when you're in pain, man, and agony. But we, Lord willing, are gonna escape. The Lord's gonna make a way for us. The scripture says he shall make a way for you able to be to bear with it.
That's
You
it.
know, our Lord ain't gonna leave his elect to starve of famine. That's coming for the wicked. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Yeah, you got our brothers that will be martyrs for this, but no way, the elect is gonna be starving of famine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You obviously might go for a point of food scarcity where you're gonna have to trust in the Lord.
No, it's still a
In terms
test,
of,
isn't it? You know?
it's just the test, but in terms of actually, dying of famine, that ain't happening to the elect, man. You know,
That's it. So I'm
martyrdom
seeing,
for the faith,
yeah,
yeah, cool, but not like you ain't gonna be there. You're eat your plate, you're falling away. Your damn intestines are outside your body and shit.
through.
You know, getting torn. Come on, that's coming for these people, man. Mainly,
Can I grab this? It says
yep.
Sirach 40 and 9. Death and bloodshed, strife and sword, calamities, famine, tribulation and the scourge. These things are created for the wicked, and for their sakes came the flood.
hmm And that's it. That's it. Because that's why the flood came. The righteous souls, they had already played out their lives, and then Noah was the last of the righteous left.
That's it.
And like him and his household made it. You know, when we talk about Second Ezra 15:16, woe is me, who shall deliver me in those days? It's because yeah, it's judgment, but guess what? The Lord's gonna find a way for his elect to escape. In
That's it.
fact, we can read Second Ezra 9, uh, from the top to verse like 12 or 13, and get another one after that and close out. Spirit had it where we went into more so the coming famine and what's going to happen. But the scriptures we read on him making us for a way to escape is powerful too. Because the scripture says, look, if that's in Ecclesiasticus 2 and 10, we can read
Yeah.
that real quick. Look at the generations.
Says Sirach 2 and 10. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he
hmm
ever despise that called upon him?
Exactly. 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 And it's like, the answer is no, you know, because even if those that died for the faith, they didn't die condemned. They died knowing that it was to the glory and honor of the Lord,
That's it.
you know. But but then, in terms of like, you know, well, again, whether it's Elijah or Daniel, Tobit, there are many examples of the Lord coming through. Okay?
So second Ezra 9 from the top. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I've told thee before, then
hmm
shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Which is what we're seeing. Okay?
Yeah. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning.
And
For
then guess
like,
what? We've been seeing that uproars and stuff for a long time, but now it's about to go to a whole other scale,
Mhm.
whole other level. Yep.
Yeah, it says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so, the times of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs.
Mm.
And
Yep.
every one that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed
Yes,
shall
see, by his works and by his faith, which is why it's important to do the videos, go to the camp, you know, pray, fast, and do what we have to do, man. You know, and ultimately, obviously, it comes down to being predestinated, which is what we hope for, that we've been predestinated to make it. Yep.
yep, just shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I've sanctified them from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments, for such as in their life have received
See,
benefits.
but it says what, that the elect shall be what, preserved from the said perils. All right, and that these so so what is the said perils? Well, the nuclear missiles. No member of the elect is gonna get nuked and actually take partake in the second death. And again, you're going to just be dead, dying of famine. You know, that's those are going to be the moments where the Lord is going to show He's with us. But of course, we're going to be tested first, where the faith is going to have to show the hour of temptation, where we're faced with the mark of the beast. But then when you overcome that, the Lord's going to obviously also show that, all right, yo, since you stayed strong, when I'm showing you, I'm with you. You know, get that.
Mhm. For such as in their lives have received benefits and have not known me. It says, and they that have loathed my law while they yet had liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not but despised it, the same must know after death by pain.
Mhm. Yeah, the same must know it after death by pain, man. The same must know it after death by pain, and that's what's coming to them. But, but mercy and salvation is unto elect. You know, let's finish Baba Bashar with Second Ezra 8, and I believe it's 50 for many great miseries.
Can. So second Ezra 8 from 50.
I
For
believe it's
many great
50.
miseries
Yep.
shall be done to them in the latter time that shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. For unto
Hmm.
you is paradise opened, the tree of life is planted, the time is come prepared.
Yeah.
Plenteous
So
is
many great miseries is unto them, but unto us is life, man. Salvation is mercy, Lord willing. You know. Go ahead.
yep. So it says, plenteousness is made ready, a city is builded, and rest is allowed. Yea, perfect goodness and wisdom.
Hmm.
The root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and the moth is hid from you, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten.
Hmm.
Sorrows are past, and in the end is showed the treasure of immortality.
Hmm.
Therefore, ask thou no more question concerning the multitude of them that perish. For
Yeah,
when
cause there's gonna be a multitude. Like, remember, like when you look at the earth, bro, the earth has to be humbled. You know what I mean? Like, well, what obviously is still good, but what in context of the scriptures, where does it fit in the narrative for the Lord to just come when no one's been judged yet? He just comes and beams up his leg, and everyone gets just carries on doing what they're doing. No, they have to tremble. There's a reason why every knee shall bow and confess that the Yahushua is Lord, because He's gonna humble the earth. Can you imagine that the Lord just turns up, no judgment, no violence. He peacefully takes power from Esau, and people just there. Nah, the Lord needs to humble the earth.
Mhm.
They need to know that these are acts of God. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep, yep,
Well,
good.
is it the world which he made?
Yep, right up.
So verse 56, it says, for when they had taken liberty, they despised the Most High, thought scorn of his law, and forsook his ways. Moreover, they have trodden down his righteous, and said in their heart that there is no God. Yea, and
Exactly what
not
they're
knowing
saying.
they must die.
Yep. Good.
For as the things aforesaid shall receive you, so
Mhm.
thirst and pain are prepared for them.
Thirst and
For,
pain is very like, I mean, that's scary. Like very specific. Because you can act all puffed up and like I'm living such a great life and that. But when you're hungry, it's peak.
Mhm.
Nothing really matters when you're hungry, man.
That's
You
it.
know, go ahead.
So it says, for it was not his will that man should come to naught, but they which be created have defiled the name of him that made them, and were unthankful unto him which prepared life for them.
Hmm.
And therefore is my judgment now at hand.
And
These
therefore, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
these things have I not showed unto all men, but unto thee, and a few like thee. Then answered
Hmm.
I and said, Behold, O Lord, now hast thou showed me the multitudes of wonders which thou wilt begin to do in the last times. But at what time thou hast not shown me.
Hmm. And guess what? We're in that time where these things he was shown is about to happen. But guess what? We know because of the context and history of the scriptures and the word of the Lord is constant. He's gonna make a way for his elect.
And that's it.
You know. So yeah, kind. So with that, man. I don't know if you have anything else you want to say, bro.
And that's it, man. That's it.
All right, and with that, we're gonna say all praises be to unto
Yahweh,
how Bashem,
Bashem, Yahushai,
outside Bashem
Bashem,
Mukakadash.
Makakadash,
Double honors to the apostles that was a great millstone. So
double
next time
honors,
we're gonna say Shalom.
Shalom, Shalom.